neighborhood of suburban New Jersey, the Morgan family epitomizes happiness and unity. James, a dedicated civil engineer, and Sarah, a beloved elementary school teacher, share a deep and affectionate bond that is the foundation of their small but happy family. Their son Michael, a lively and curious 9-year-old, thrives under their care. Weekends are reserved for family adventures, whether it's exploring local parks, visiting museums in New York City, or just playing board games at home. These moments are cherished, forming a tapestry of memories that Michael holds dear. Their home is filled with laughter, love, and the comforting sense of belonging that Sarah and James tirelessly cultivate amidst this idyllic setting. The Morgans are known in their community for their openness and hospitality. Neighbors are often welcomed into their home for barbecues and holiday celebrations, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. Sarah's ability to connect with people, paired with James' humorous and gentle nature, makes their home a magnet for friends and family. This communal spirit not only enriches Michael's upbringing, but also deeply roots the family in their local community, providing a strong sense of stability and support. However, this perfect picture begins to show cracks when Sarah starts experiencing unusual fatigue and persistent headaches. Initially dismissed as stress or minor illness, the symptoms gradually become more concerning. Her vibrant energy dims and her once infectious laughter becomes less frequent. Concern grows within the family as Sarah tries to maintain normally, but the physical toll becomes increasingly evident. Despite her attempts to shield Michael from her growing health concerns, the changes in her demeanor and the increased doctor visits begin to create an undercurrent of anxiety in the household. The shift in the Morgan household is subtle yet profound as Sarah's illness begins to take center stage. Her diagnosis remains elusive, causing frustration and fear to permeate their once peaceful home. Each medical test that comes back inconclusive only serves to heighten the tension, leaving Sarah exhausted and James feeling helpless. Michael, sensing the severity of his mother's condition, finds himself grappling with confusion and fear, his once carefree nature overshadowed by the worry he sees reflected in his parents' eyes. As Sarah's condition deteriorates, the family dynamics shift significantly. James finds himself juggling his demanding job and increased responsibilities at home, struggling to provide Michael with the carefree upbringing he and Sarah had always prioritized. The strain begins to show in James' interactions with colleagues and friends, his usual easygoing demeanor replaced by a curt, distracted presence at home. He tries to keep spirits up, but the shadow of Sarah's illness casts a long, dark cloud over their daily lives. In school, Michael's performance begins to falter. Teachers noticed a change in his behavior. The bright, enthusiastic student is now often withdrawn and quiet. His friends struggle to understand his sudden mood swings and his declining interest in after-school activities. Inside, Michael feels torn between his worry for his mother and the desire to act strong for his parents. He overhears conversations filled with medical jargon and whispered fears between his parents, which only compounds his feelings of helplessness and isolation within the walls of his changing home. The sterile, beeping confines of the hospital become a grim new reality for the Morgans as Sarah is admitted for more intensive tests. The long, fluorescent-lit corridors and a constant murmur of nurses and doctors create a stark contrast to the warmth and laughter of their home. James and Michael find themselves spending hours in uncomfortable chairs waiting for any news that might shed light on Sarah's condition. During these long hours, James tried to explain to Michael in hushed tones about the uncertainty of their situation, attempting to prepare him for all possible outcomes while holding back his own rising despair. One night, as Sarah lies weakly in her hospital bed, a moment of lucidity brings a surge of maternal need to protect her son from the impending loss. She calls James and Michael to her side, her voice barely a whisper, and expresses her deepest fear and final wish that James continue to nurture and protect Michael as they had always planned. The weight of this moment is palpable. The beeping of the machines punctuates her plea, leaving a heavy silence that lingers long after her words fade. This conversation, while heartbreaking, solidifies a new resolve in James. He promises Sarah with Michael as his witness, that no matter what happens, he will keep their son safe and loved. Michael, young and frightened, clings to this promise, seeing it as a beacon of hope in the rapidly encroaching darkness. As they each hold one of Sarah's hands, the promise binds them together, a sacred pact made in the face of the unimaginable grief that looms over their family. As Sarah's health continues to decline, each visit to the hospital becomes more about managing pain and preparing for the inevitable. During one particularly poignant visit, Sarah, sensing that her time is limited, has a private conversation with James. She expresses a desperate plea, her voice weak but filled with maternal fervor, urging him to ensure that Michael never has to face life's challenges alone. Sarah implores James to keep Michael close, to fill his life with love, and to never let him doubt his worth, no matter how hard things might get. James, his heart breaking under the weight of his impending loss, listens intently. Nodding through tears, he reassures her with a choked voice, promising to uphold her wishes to be both mother and father if need be. They talk about their dreams for Michael, discussing the aspirations they had harbored for his future, a future they once hoped to witness together. This conversation, laden with love and loss, cement James is resolved to honor Sarah's legacy by nurturing their son with all the compassion and guidance she would have given later. James shares the essence of this conversation with Michael, trying to prepare him for what's coming in a way that a child might understand. He explains that Mommy has one big wish: that he grows up strong, kind, and brave. Michael, grappling with the fear and confusion that comes from seeing his mother so frail, clings to his father's words. This promise becomes a critical anchor for him, a solemn vow that he believes will guide him through the forthcoming storm. The inevitable arrives. One cold, bleak morning, Sarah passes away quietly in her hospital room with James at her bedside, holding her hand until the very end. The still silence that follows her last breath is suffocating, a stark finality that no amount of preparation could soften. James, shattered and numb, musters the strength to inform Michael, who reacts with a deep, primal grief that only a child who has lost a parent can feel. In the weeks that follow, the Morgan home is enveloped in a palpable grief. James, struggling with his own crushing sorrow, finds it increasingly difficult to connect with Michael, who is lost in his own world of madness. The routines that once filled their home with joy are now burdensome chores that they navigate mechanically. Michael retreats into himself, his schoolwork and social interactions, suffering as he processes his mother's death in the quiet of his room, surrounded by remnants of her life. The funeral is a blur of faces, condolences, and the echoing sounds of a grief-stricken hymn. Michael stands next to James, feeling small and unawed as he listens to people share memories of his mother. Each anecdote, each tear shed in her memory is a reminder of the vast emptiness that her passing has left in his heart. After the funeral, his friends and family leave the house, feels emptier than ever. The silence, a heavy blanket that suffocates any remaining semblance of normally. 6 months of mourning pass slowly, with James grappling with loneliness and the overwhelming task of raising Michael alone in an attempt to fill the void left by Sarah, and perhaps prematurely trying to bring some normalcy back to their lives. James meets and quickly falls for Linda, a colleague from work who offers him companionship and comfort. Their whirlwind romance culminates in marriage, and Linda moves into the Morgan home, bringing with her a wave of changes. Initially, Michael is cautiously optimistic about Linda, driven by a deep-seated hope that maybe this change could bring some happiness back into their home. However, as Linda settles in, it becomes clear that she does not share James's enthusiasm for fatherhood, nor does she possess the warmth that Sarah exuded. The dynamics in the house shift as Linda imposes her rules and expectations, which are often in stark contrast to the nurturing environment Sarah had cultivated. James, caught between his desire for a new start and his responsibility to Michael, tries to bridge the growing divide. He reassures Michael that Linda's presence will benefit them all, even as he himself starts to notice the growing coldness in her interactions with Michael. The foundation of trust and security that James and Michael once shared begins to crack under the weight of their shared grief and the introduction of a stranger into their once happy family. Linda's Influence on the household becomes more pronounced as she begins to make her presence felt. Her approach to parenting is more disciplinary, lacking the patience and understanding that Sarah naturally embodied. Michael, who is still navigating his grief and the confusion of his new family structure, finds himself often at odds with Linda's rules, which are enforced with a sternness he's not accustomed to. The atmosphere at home becomes tense, with Michael feeling increasingly alienated in his own home. Linda's indifference towards him is palpable. She rarely attends his school events or takes an interest in his hobbies activities. Sarah never missed James in his own struggle with loss, and his efforts to support his new wife inadvertently began to overlook these changes, rationalizing Linda's behavior as her way of settling in conflicts begin to surface more frequently, with Linda complaining to James about Michael's behavior, often exaggerating incidents to paint him in a troublesome light. James, torn between his loyalty to Linda and his love for his son, finds himself in a constant state of stress, trying to keep peace in the household. While grappling with his fading memories of Sarah's gentle guidance, Michael, feeling the loss of his ally and protector, starts to withdraw further, his world narrowing as he tries to navigate the coldness that has replaced the warmth he once knew. The transformation in James becomes more evident as he begins to adopt Linda's perspectives on parenting and household management. Initially subtle, his patience with Michael begins to wane, his tone often mirroring Linda's sternness. His shift is jarring to Michael, who has always seen his father as his pillar of support, especially in the wake of his mother's death. The once open and comforting dialogues they shared turn into terse exchanges, with James issuing directives more than engaging in conversations. Michael, struggling to recognize the father he once knew, finds himself recoiling from the man James is becoming. The blame for minor issues such as untidiness in his room or a forgotten chore now falls heavily on him, with James quick to reprimand rather than understand. Each scolding, each disappointed look chips away at the foundation of trust and love that was once unshakable between them. Linda, for her part, does little to ease the growing tension. If anything, her influence seems to steer James further away from his natural compassion. Her complaints about Michael are frequent and at times petty, portraying him as a burden rather than a child still grieving the loss of his mother. The home that once held so much laughter and love now feels more like a battleground, with Michael often retreating to his room to escape the constant scrutiny and the palpable disapproval of his stepmother. The escalation of conflicts in the Morgan household reaches new heights as Linda begins to take a more active role in disciplining Michael. Her methods are harsh and often disproportionate to the misdemeanors. A forgotten task or a slight misbehavior is met with severe punishments, such as grounding Michael for weeks or restricting his access to television. In games which were once his own only solaces, in a home that no longer felt like his sanctuary, Michael, feeling increasingly trapped and misunderstood, starts to lose any hope of finding understanding or affection at home. His performance in school begins to suffer as the emotional toll of his home life weighs heavily on him. His teachers, noticing the change, reach out to James, expressing concern over Michael's withdrawn behavior and slipping grades. However, influenced by Linda's assertions that stricter discipline is necessary, James dismisses these concerns, believing that a firmer hand will correct what he perceives as Michael's declining commitment to his studies. The isolation Michael feels becomes more profound as he begins to view his home as a place of constant judgment and criticism. The arguments between Linda and him become more frequent, and James often sides with Linda, further alienating his son. The gap between father and son widens, with Michael mourning the loss of the parental support he once took for granted, and James, under Linda's influence, viewing his son's behavior as a series of problems to be fixed rather than expressions of a child in distress. The relationship between Michael and his father reaches a breaking point following an incident where Michael is accused of a mistake he did not commit. Linda, quick to judge, convinces James that Michael's behavior is not only a sign of disrespect, but also an indication of deeper character flaws. The punishment this time is severe and unjust, leaving Michael feeling utterly betrayed and alone. Feeling cornered and misunderstood, Michael's emotional state deteriorates. He begins to internalize the belief that he is indeed the problem, that his presence somehow disrupts the peace of the family. His nights are restless, filled with tears, and a yearning for his mother, whose gentle presence had always been his anchor. The sense of abandonment by his father, who was once his hero, crushes him, and he struggles to comprehend the complete reversal of their relationship. This chapter delves deep into Michael's psyche, exploring the intense feelings of betrayal and loneliness that consume him. His reflections are filled with memories of better times and the stark contrast to his current reality is heartbreaking as he lies awake at night, listening to the laughter of James and Linda from downstairs. The realization that he is now an outsider in his own home solidifies Michael's sense of loss. Is not just about his mother, but also about the father he once knew and loved, who now seems like a stranger to him. A dramatic turn of events one evening leads to Michael's forceful expulsion from the family home. The catalyst is a minor misunderstanding that Linda exploits, convincing James that harsh measures are necessary to discipline Michael. James, clouded by grief and influenced by Linda, makes a rash decision that night. With heavy words, he tells Michael that he must leave, believing this might teach his son a hard lesson about respect and consequences. The decision is made in anger and frustration, reflecting James's inability to cope with his emotional turmoil and Linda's manipulative tendencies. Michael is stunned, his world collapsing around him as he packs a small bag with his most precious belongings, a photo of his mother, a few clothes, and a worn-out book she had given him. The night is chilly as he steps out of the only home he's ever known, feeling the sharp sting of rejection. The reality of his father's decision hits him hard. He wanders through the streets, unsure of where to go, overwhelmed by a sense of abandonment. The streets become his grim new reality, and the night sky offers no comfort, only a blanket of darkness that mirrors his despair. The first night away is terrifying. Michael finds a secluded spot in a park to sleep, but the cold and fear make rest impossible. He is haunted by memories of happier times, now shattered by the harshness of his new circumstances. The safety and warmth of his bed seem like distant memories, replaced by the hard, unforgiving ground and the rustling of leaves in the cold wind. Michael wraps himself tightly in his jacket, trying to fend off the chill and the creeping despair that threatens to overwhelm him. Life on the streets is harsh and unforgiving. Michael quickly learns to navigate this new world where every day is a struggle for survival. He learns where to find food, sometimes in charity bins, other times by scavenging near eateries where sympathetic locals sometimes leave scraps. He discovers the safest places to sleep where police and troublemakers won't bother him, but the constant threat of danger looms large, and the harsh reality of his situation weighs heavily on his young shoulders. During his time on the streets, Michael meets other homeless youths. From them, he learns the unspoken rules of survival on the streets, where to find warm shelters on cold nights, how to keep safe, and the importance of staying invisible to avoid trouble. These kids, each with their own sad stories, form a ragged sort of family. They look out for each other as much as they can, sharing what little they have. Michael, despite his circumstances, finds a sense of community and belonging with these forgotten children, which gives him a semblance of hope amidst the adversity. One rainy evening, while seeking shelter under a bridge, Michael meets an old man named George who shares his food and stories with him. George, once a teacher, sees the intelligence and potential in Michael's eyes. He encourages Michael to think about his future, to consider education as a way out of his current life. This conversation sparks a flicker of hope in Michael. He starts to dream of a better life, and inspired by George's belief in him, the kindness of this near stranger plants a seed of determination in Michael to rise above his circumstances. Grace, a volunteer at a local soup kitchen, notices Michael one cold afternoon. She sees beyond his ragged appearance, recognizing the quiet despair of a child out of place among the adult faces. Her approach is gentle, offering not just food, but also a warm smile and a listening ear. Michael is at first and used to kindness without strings attached, but he slowly opens up, sharing snippets of his story with her, moved by his resilience and the injustices he's faced. Grace takes a special interest in Michael. She offers to help him find more permanent solutions, starting with clean clothes, regular meals, and the possibility of returning to school. Grace becomes a steadfast figure in Michael's life, a beacon of hope and kindness in his world of uncertainty. She helps him navigate the process of enrolling in a local school, using her connections to find him a place to stay. With a family who takes in children in need, with Grace's encouragement, Michael begins to reclaim his life. He attends school, catching up on the education he missed. The routine of school, the stability it provides, is a balm to his chaotic life. He thrives academically, his teachers impressed by his determination. This new chapter is not without its challenges, but the support of Grace and the family he stays with shows Michael that kindness and generosity can still exist even in the bleakest situations. This network of support rekindles his hope for the future, driving him to pursue his dreams with newfound vigor and gratitude. Michael's newfound stability allows him to excel in school. With each passing day, he feels increasingly empowered to change his trajectory. He becomes a standout student, particularly in mathematics and science subjects he finds both challenging and comforting in their logic and precision. Michael's teachers take note of his exceptional intellect and resilience, providing him with additional resources and encouragement, further fueling his ambitions. This academic success opens up opportunities for Michael that were previously unimaginable. He joins the school's science club, where he participates in competitions, often leading his team to victory. These achievements are more than academic accolades, they are affirmations of his worth and potential, stark contrasts to the doubts and low self-esteem fostered by his father's abandonment and Linda's cruelty. Amidst this academic resurgence, Michael encounters Mrs. Ellis, a school counselor who becomes another pivotal figure in his life. Recognizing the signs of emotional trauma beneath his academic success, Mrs. Ellis offers Michael a safe space to explore his feelings and past experiences. Their sessions, though initially challenging for Michael, gradually help him process his grief over his mother's death and the subsequent betrayal by his father. These conversations profoundly impact Michael, helping him to heal and fostering a sense of peace and acceptance of his past. Michael's journey through high school is marked by a series of victories and personal growth. As senior year approaches, he starts exploring possibilities for higher education, driven by a dream to pursue a career in technology, a field he believes has the power to change lives. His schoolwork, especially projects that involve coding and digital innovation, showcases his talent and creativity, drawing the attention of his teachers and peers alike. Recognizing his potential, Mr. Thompson, Michael's science teacher and mentor, encourages him to apply for scholarships and to consider attending prestigious universities that can nurture his budding talent in technology. Mr. Thompson spends hours with Michael after school, helping him prepare for college entrance exams and advising him on scholarship applications. His guidance proves invaluable, and Michael's hard work pays off when he receives multiple scholarship institutions. As graduation nears, Michael reflects on his incredible journey from the depths of despair to the brink of a promising future. His graduation speech, in which he shares his story of overcoming adversity through resilience and the support of his community, moves many in the audience to tears. This moment is not just a celebration of his academic achievements, but a powerful testament to his ability to transcend his circumstances. It serves as an inspiration to others and a cathartic release for Michael, who publicly acknowledges the role of his mentors and friends in his success. As Michael begins his college experience, he finds a new mentor in Professor Jenkins, a leading figure in the field of computer science, whose passion for technology and innovation matches his own. Professor Jenkins recognizes Michael's raw talent and unique perspective, shaped by his experiences of hardship and resilience. He takes Michael under his wing, providing him with opportunities to work on cutting-edge research projects and to learn from some of the best minds in the industry. This mentorship becomes crucial as Michael navigates the complexities of college life. The academic challenges are greater and the stakes are higher, but the supportive environment and resources available at the university allow him to thrive. Professor Jenkins introduces Michael to the broader tech community, facilitating internships and networking opportunities. that are critical for his professional growth during his college years. Michael also becomes involved in outreach programs that aim to help young people from disadvantaged backgrounds access education in STEM fields. His work with these programs is deeply personal, driven by his desire to give back to the community and support others who face obstacles similar to those he overcame. This involvement enriches his college experience, providing a sense of purpose and fulfillment that transcends academic success. The culmination of Michael's hard work arrives on his high school graduation day. As he stands before his classmates and their families, Michael delivers a valedictory speech that resonates deeply with all who listen. He speaks of resilience, the importance of community support, and the unyielding pursuit of one's dreams against all odds. His words, imbued with gratitude and wisdom beyond his years, inspire his peers and educators alike, many of whom are aware of the extraordinary circumstances he has overcome. After the ceremony, Michael's thoughts turn to his future and the vast possibilities that now lie before him. The joy of graduation is mixed with a poignant sense of accomplishment and the sobering remembrance of his mother's influence in his life. He feels her absence keenly on this significant day, but is comforted by the belief that she would be immensely proud of the man he has become. The chapter closes with Michael surrounded by friends and teachers at his graduation party, celebrating not only an academic milestone, but also the personal victories that each diploma represents. The community that has rallied around him over the years shares in his triumph, reflecting on the impact of their support and the bright future that undoubtedly lies ahead for a young man of such character and determination. Excitement and anticipation fill Michael as he prepares for his journey to college. Chosen for his academic prowess and potential, he is set to attend a prestigious university on a full scholarship. The transition from high school to college is a significant one, marked by preparations and aspirations for the future. Michael spends the summer before college attending workshops and orientations, eager to immerse himself in his new academic environment. The university campus, with its sprawling lawns and state-of-the-art facilities, is a far cry from the streets where Michael once found himself homeless. He is assigned a dormitory room, which he decorates with personal mementos that remind him of how far he's come. His room becomes his new sanctuary, a place where he can study, reflect, and dream of the future. As classes begin, Michael is introduced to a diverse group of peers from all over the world, each with their own unique story and ambitions. He quickly finds his place among them, his humble background and unassuming nature drawing others to him. The challenges of college are manifold: rigorous coursework, the pressure to succeed, and the ongoing effort to balance schoolwork with personal growth. But Michael approaches each challenge with the resilience and determination that have become his hallmark. College presents a new array of challenges and opportunities for Michael. He delves into complex computer science courses, engaging with software engineering, data analysis, and artificial intelligence. These subjects fascinate him, fueling his ambition to one day make significant contributions to the tech industry. Group projects and hackathons become part of his regular activities, providing hands-on experience and fostering a spirit of collaboration among his peers outside of academics. Michael faces the challenge of living independently for the first time, managing his finances, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and navigating the social dynamics of college life are all new territories. However, the skills he honed while overcoming his earlier adversities prove invaluable, and he quickly adapts to his new environment. Amidst these challenges, Michael finds time to engage with the university community. He joins clubs and participates in forums that focus on technology for social good, aligning his career interests with his personal values. These activities not only enhance his university experience, but also build a strong professional network that will support his future ambitions. In the spring of his sophomore year, Michael secures an internship with a renowned tech company, an opportunity that brings him one step closer to his professional goals. The internship allows him to work alongside experienced engineers and developers, giving him a practical understanding of the software development lifecycle and the latest technological innovations. During his internship, Michael impresses his supervisors with his technical skills, and his ability to learn quickly. He works on a project that involves developing a new app aimed at improving accessibility for disabled users, a cause close to his heart. The success of this project not only enhances his resume but also reaffirms his passion for using technology to make a positive impact on society. The experience gained from the internship is transformative. Michael returns to university with a renewed sense of purpose and a clear vision for his future. He is more determined than ever to excel in his studies and to pursue a career that combines his technical expertise with his desire to contribute meaningfully to the world. His journey from the depths of despair to the cusp of a promising career in technology is testament to his resilience, his heart, and power of second chances. After graduating with honors, Michael's career trajectory accelerates rapidly. He joins a leading technology firm where his innovative ideas and hard work quickly set him apart. Michael's projects, which often blend technical excellence with social consciousness, receive accolades within the industry, reinforcing his reputation as a rising star. His ability to lead teams and his unyielding commitment to his values make him a beloved figure among his colleagues and a role model for younger employees. Michael's success in the tech world also brings financial rewards, allowing him to enjoy comforts he never imagined during his days on the streets. However, he remains grounded, remembering his past struggles and the people who helped him along the way. This humility endears him even more to those around him and fuels his desire to give back to the community. He starts by setting up scholarships for underprivileged students in fields related to technology and science, hoping to pave the way for future innovators who come from backgrounds similar to his. Despite his busy schedule, Michael makes time to speak at conferences and schools, sharing his journey from homelessness to tech mogul. His speeches inspire many, drawing attention to the issues of homelessness and educational inequality. The impact of his words is profound, sparking discussions and encouraging others to take action. His story is a powerful reminder of the potential within every individual, regardless of their circumstances, and the importance of community support in unlocking their potential. Michael's startup, which develops educational software for underserved communities, gains significant traction. The company's mission to make learning accessible to everyone resonates widely, attracting attention from major investors and partners. The first round of funding is a monumental success, with venture capitalists buying to be part of what many see as a revolutionary step in educational technology. With funds secured, Michael leads his team through the initial launch of their flagship product, an app that personalizes learning for students with different needs. The launch is met with enthusiastic reception from schools and educational institutions, validating Michael's vision and hard work. This milestone is not just a business achievement, but also a personal triumph, reflecting his commitment to changing lives through technology. Amid this whirlwind of success, Michael remains introspective, often reflecting on his mother's influence and the promises he made to himself. He uses his platform to advocate for systemic changes in how society supports homeless youth and the underprivileged. His story, highlighted in tech and mainstream media, becomes a catalyst for conversation about resilience, opportunity, and the transformative power of education. As Michael's star rises, he receives news that his father James and stepmother Linda have fallen into hard times. Their own mismanagement and unforeseen economic downturns have drained their resources, leaving them struggling with debts and living in vastly reduced circumstances. This twist of fate brings a complex mix of emotions for Michael. There is a part of him that feels vindicated, yet another part is stirred by deep-seated compassion, a testament to the values his mother instilled in him. Contemplating his next steps, Michael grapples with the decision of whether to extend help. He recalls the nights of despair on the streets, the cold rejection, and the years of hardship without a father's support. These memories are painful, yet they also remind him of his journey and the importance of kindness and forgiveness. After much deliberation, he decides that his actions will honor his mother's memory and her teachings, not the bitterness of his past. Michael reaches out to James and Linda with an offer to help them stabilize their financial situation. This gesture of support is done quietly without fanfare, reflecting his desire to not let his past dictate his actions. He chooses to help not because they deserve it, but because it's the person his mother hoped he would become. This decision marks a pivotal moment in Michael's life, embodying the principle that success doesn't just change what we can do, but also what we choose to do for others, even those who may not have done the same for us. Despite his considerable achievements, Michael finds himself at a moral crossroads when dealing with his father, Linda. He wrestles with the lingering bitterness and the enduring impact of their abandonment, yet he is also conscious of how his decisions reflect on his own values. Opting to take the high road, Michael provides financial assistance to his estranged father, ensuring that they have enough to cover their basic needs, but maintaining a careful emotional distance. This act of magnanimity does not come easily. Michael spends long nights in contemplation, discussing his thoughts with close friends and mentors who have become his chosen family. They remind him of his journey, how each act of kindness he received was a stepping stone away from his past. Inspired by this perspective, Michael views his assistance as a tribute to those who helped him when he was most vulnerable, rather than a direct benefit to James and Linda. The assistance he provides is structured through a third party, ensuring that his personal life remains shielded from potential negativity. Michael's approach is meticulous, mirroring his business acumen. He ensures that his support cannot be misused, tying the financial aid to specific bills and necessities. This methodical detachment